Hello, and welcome back to M's Flavor Stage. I hope that you all are having a wonderful Wednesday, and today we are going to be making Mexican Sopes. Now you may wonder, what in the world is Mexican Sopes? I'm so glad you asked. So Mexican Sopes is basically corn flour mixed with water and a little bit of salt. You form it into these, you create a dough with it. You make balls of the dough, and then you create these like discs where you're gonna put like the meat of your choice, the toppings, whatever you want. Today I'll be adding not ground beef. I'll be adding steak to it with a little bit of pico de gallo and some refried beans that your girl is gonna be making from scratch. Okay, all right, so that's what sopes are. A little backstory about how I found out about sopes. Many years ago, I worked at a furniture store, and the girls would go get Mexican food across the street from one of the super yummy Mexican restaurants in the area. So someone ordered sopes. I had never heard of that before, and they let me try one, and ever since then your girl has been hooked. Okay, now there's a food truck down the road from where I live where they do sell the sopes. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but this last time, like, it wasn't all that great, and I just thought to myself, you know what, instead of, you know, having to play like Russian roulette each time and wonder if it's gonna come out good, I decided I'm just gonna make my own. Okay, so yeah, and then when I would buy it, I'd have to hide it from the children. You know how that is sometimes. You got kids and you don't want to share. Yeah. So now they like it, so I'm gonna make some for the whole family, and let's get right to it. All right, so in my pot I have 2 cups of the corn flour. Okay, this is what I got. You can find this in Walmart. You can find this at any Hispanic market. It's basically instant yellow corn masa. But they have, you know, have different brands and stuff, but I just got this one because the price was right. Okay, so I have 2 cups of that. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of water. Okay, and we are basically gonna form a dough with our hands. Okay, now if it feels too watery, you're gonna definitely want to add some more flour to the mix, but we're gonna see how this comes out. This is only the second time I have actually made this, so I'm hoping that this time is gonna be much better with the dough. The last time I made it, like when I fried it, like my dough was falling apart, and that was a problem. Okay, so the dough is starting to form beautifully. Actually, it's quite different from the last time I experienced this, so that was interesting. Okay, so this recipe is supposed to yield for 12 sopes. All right, oh yeah, this is perfect. Your dough is supposed to feel like play-doh, and that's exactly what this feels like. So perfect. I don't have to add anything to this. Okay, nice. So I'm gonna continue to just kind of knead this a little bit more. Just want to make sure it's not like grainy or anything. Okay, there we go. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like that smell of like the corn flour, so it smells very strongly like that in here. All right, so here we go. So we have this beautiful ball of dough, and what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna separate this into smaller dough balls of about 12. Okay, and everyone makes their sopes different. If you go on Google and you search like different recipes, you're gonna see like a ton of different ways on how to do it. This is the simplest form that I want to do. Okay, so that's ball 1. Okay, because what's gonna happen is that in a moment, we're gonna actually flatten these up and get ready to fry them. And then you'll see the steps after that, okay? Ball 2. All right. So I'm gonna continue making these balls and I will be right back. All right, and we're back. So here I have my 12 balls. The first 2 I made them a little too big. So I was already at 11. So I took from the 2 big balls that I had made and I created one more so that I can have 12, okay? Beautiful. So now what we're gonna do is that I don't have a tortilla press. So what I have is 2 pieces of parchment paper. I'm gonna take one of the balls, put it in between the 2 pieces of the parchment paper, and I'm gonna flatten it with a plate. You want it to be flat like a pancake, but not thin like a tortilla, okay? You gotta have a little bit of depth to this. So let's see how this comes out. Okay, oh yeah, perfect, perfect. So let me flatten it just a little bit more. Absolutely perfect, okay? So this is what we have, and we're gonna continue to do this with the rest, and we're gonna fry this, okay? Be right back. All right, you guys, so I wanna show you the proper way that I feel you should do to remove the sope from the paper, okay? So I kind of put my hand underneath, I grab it like so, just like that, and I transfer it to the other parchment paper where I'm laying out my sopes, okay? We're about to get ready to fry these bad boys. All right, so our oil is hot. We're gonna go ahead and start adding our sopes to the oil, okay? We're gonna fry on each side for 1 to 2 minutes. I am just carefully transporting these to the skillet. I don't want them to break. All right. There is my stuff. There we go. These are we just want them to harden up a bit. That's gonna happen rather quickly. Okay. And then once these come out, we're gonna crimp them. I'm gonna show you how to crimp them to form the little kind of like pocket, like a little pocket bowl when we're gonna add our fillings to it. All right, be right back. All right, so I have taken the first sopes out. It's very hot, but you want to be careful. Obviously you don't get burned, but you're gonna crimp these up like this, okay? Very quickly while it's still hot. I'm trying to be very careful. Okay, if you can kind of get it to stay, it may or may not stay perfectly, but the best you can do, okay? Some people keep theirs flat, but you know, you get the picture. Same thing with this one, just kind of crimp it up a bit. And it's gonna form kind of like a little fortress. All right. Don't burn yourself now. All right, like so. This is exactly the texture that you want to have. And then we're gonna put these back in the skillet for another minute or 2, okay? All right, so I'm having a little bit of challenge of getting it to stay crimped. Some of it has stayed crimped, some of it happens to not want to stay crimped, but don't worry about it. This is going in your belly regardless, so it is what it is. So this one's ready. I'm gonna take it out. The first one I had kind of broke apart, so you know, like I said, if that happens, don't worry too bad. As long as we have the disc, the shape that we want for our sope, that's what counts. Because it's just like a little pocket. Like this one, it broke, but I'm not gonna waste the masa. So I'm just gonna like literally just put my topping on top of it. Like if it's like a little, kind of think of it like a coaster, okay? Like I said, this is only the second time I have made this. So I gotta keep practicing that crimp. All right, and I'm gonna do the rest with everything else, and I will be right back. All right, so I was able to crimp this one a little bit. What I did is I took a clean kitchen towel and I basically crimped it so that I wouldn't feel the heat so much on my fingers, and that helped me to kind of crimp this one a little bit. All right, but for sake of time and for sake of my sanity, the rest of them are not going to be crimped. They're just going to be beautiful little discs, and we're going to move on to making our filling next. All right, you guys, so right now we're going to make our meat. Here I have about a pound and a half of some beef for carne picada, is what you would call it. Okay, and it's basically just little pieces of chopped beef. And we're gonna go ahead and add this to our skillet. Okay. All right. And basically, I am gonna season it with, it's gonna be very light seasoning for this. We're gonna do some beef bouillon. Okay. We'll just break this up a little bit. All right, so we're gonna do some beef bouillon. I think one packet is good. And obviously you can add whatever seasonings you want to your toppings, but I'm gonna add this here. And I'm gonna let this brown up a bit. I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of black pepper. And I am also gonna add just a small handful of onion, chopped up. Okay. And we're gonna let this cook up a bit. All right, and we'll be right back. All right, so now I'm gonna quickly make the refried beans. I have a can of pinto beans. All right, I'm gonna pour this in my Ninja cup along with the liquid. I'm gonna add a little bit of this Sazon tropical. Again, you can add whatever seasoning you wanna add to your beans. I personally like refried beans that have a good amount of seasoning to it. I'm going to add about 1 minced garlic clove. Okay. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. I'd say half a teaspoon, maybe actually more like a quarter teaspoon. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin. Okay. And we're gonna put this on the pulse setting. All right, let me get this on here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like when I get back. I actually want to show you what I'm doing, what it looks like so far. So I'm just hitting the pulse like so, just a little bit until I get the consistency I want. So let's see what it looks like right now. Okie dokie. So yes, that's pretty much what I want for the consistency. And now what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to put it in a pot and heat it up a bit. Be right back. All right, so our meat is done. It tastes great. It has a perfect amount of seasoning to it. And now I'm gonna add my beans to the pot. Okay. And again, it's exactly the consistency that I wanted. We're gonna let this cook up a bit. We're gonna crumble our Mexican crumbling cheese and assemble our sopes, and we'll be right back. All right, so here I have 2 of my sopes. What I'm going to do now is that I am going to take some of the refried beans and add it to the top like that. Just add a nice little layer of that. Okay, I'm gonna get some of our beef, add that to the top. Add as much or as less as you want. I typically like a lot of meat, so I'm gonna add the meat to here. All right, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna add our vegetables, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have 2 of our sopes. We're going to take some of our Mexican crumbling cheese. We're just gonna take a piece like so, and you're gonna crumble it up, okay? You can put it on your meat, or you can put your salsa on first and then sprinkle the cheese, however you want to do. I like a lot of cheese on mine, so I'm laying it in pretty heavy, okay? All right, then you're just going to get your salsa, which basically I had chopped up some tomatoes, I have some cilantro, and I have some red onions, okay? So I'm gonna scoop some of that on here like so, okay? Oh yeah, this looks amazing. Okay, and that is it, you guys. Now we're gonna get ready to try this. All right, you guys, we are back. So now I am going to try some of this sope, and we're gonna see how it tastes. All right, can get a little messy, but that's all right. So basically, just grab your sope like this. So good. Oh my gosh, it tastes absolutely amazing. The flavor of the meat with the refried beans as a little sauce layer underneath tastes absolutely amazing. The fresh taste of the salsa is just off the chain, you guys. I will give you a tip. When you're ready to make your sopes, make sure that if you want to have the crispy texture of your sope, be ready, already have your things ready, like your meat and all your things, so you can enjoy your sopes nice and crispy, okay? Very important. All right, but that is it, you guys. So not bad for trying this for the first time on video, right? I'm very transparent, and I am not afraid to say if something doesn't go right, to do something else instead, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed this episode of M's Flavor Stage. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Jesus loves you, and I love you too, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. All right, have a good one. Bye.